finished teaching a class on logic, and in my class I asked my students, could we know if Christianity was true, or Buddhism, or Islam? And one of my students said, you know what, I don't think that we can know if any of them are true. They're equally true for whoever believes them. And I'm finding today that people are adopting this viewpoint more and more. It's called religious relativism. They might say that to you, well, that's true for you, but not for me. You see, religious relativism believes that all statements on religious belief are subjective. What is subjective? Let me tell you what that means. A subjective statement is when you're talking about the subject, the person making the statement. That means that if I say chocolate ice cream is better than vanilla, I'm saying it like a fact, but really I'm not saying anything about the ice cream. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about my preferences. That is true for me, right? But it's going to be false for someone else. And that's how you can find those subjective claims. They're about the person's opinion or preference. And so they are actually true for one person, but they can be false for another. And there's nothing logically wrong with that. Now, an objective statement is different. An objective statement is where you're talking about the object itself. So if I say, that is a bowl of ice cream, I'm talking about that object. It either is true that that's a bowl of ice cream, or it's false, right? It's not true and false at the same time. It can't be true for me that that's a bowl of ice cream and false for you that that's a bowl of ice cream, because we're not talking about ourselves. We're talking about the reality of that bowl. It's either got ice cream in it or it doesn't. If I say something like Jesus is God, what have I said? Something subjective? Is it my opinion, my preference? Am I saying something about myself? Or am I saying something about Jesus, about God, about the object? Well, really, I'm making an objective claim. I'm saying something that's either true or false, but can't be true for me and false for you. It's either true or false because it's an objective statement. And I think that's what's tripping up people in our culture. They think that all religious statements like that are subjective. They're about the person, not about the object being referenced, God. This is why this is so important, because we don't teach logic so much anymore. People don't understand that basic concept. They think when you talk about belief in God that it's all subjective. You're making a claim just like the Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians 15 when he said, Jesus either rose from the dead or he did not. And if he did not, your faith is useless. Paul made an objective truth claim there, which is either true or false. So when you're out in the world and you feel like, well, maybe I'm pushing my religion on someone, remember that what you're saying, that Jesus is God, is true about the reality of the universe. That's what you're talking about. I believe this is true. Whether or not anybody believes it, knows it, likes it, cares about it, it cannot be true for me and false for you.